There's a monster under my bed, and at my window there's a dragon. I accepted the challenge, it turned me into a savage. I broke a promise to myself again. I don't know why I am so vulnerable. They try to help, but I won't let them in. I guess rock bottom's where I'm comfortable. Both my feet planted when most people would've panicked. I embraced the storm. I found beauty in what was damaged. I'm not afraid of the man. Instead I look at him like he's a friend. There's not a monster out there in the world. You're scarier than the one that's within. There's a creature in my closet. I can hear him rumbling around. The demon screaming in the distance creates such a humbling sound. The monster that's outside my window, he's like family to me now. The things that people are afraid of never let me down.
Not to say it is no, but I'm hated so. My religious freaks say I'm the biggest beast and that I made it grow. When I spray this flow, I created mo. Creatures are like when I heat up the mic, I'm a breed of the night, but I'm fainted though. By the darkness I'm binded, I sparked it and shined it. They find it cause mine is woe. But that they label me a demon seed. Wanna disable, need to see them bleed. Hinder me fatally and see them grieve, no. You would not believe the creature inside me. If you deceive, Khalifa's lively. We disagree when people defy me or try to take his. Whatever the fuckery toward them, you don't wanna wake this. You forsake his, what is sacred, then it's over. No matter what your faith is, I'm a creature.
There's a creature in my closet. I can hear him rumbling around. The demon screaming in the distance creates such a humbling.
What's your other account called? That might take a minute.
Outside my window, he's like family to me now. The things that people are afraid of never let me down.
I'll write your other account down
to get myself in trouble, all this pain. Yeah, I'm damn in the double dose of liquor's always to blame. If I could keep myself sober, I keep my hands to myself. I take a shot and it's over, that's how I end up in hell. I hope I don't pass it down to my offspring. They get everything from their daddy, feel like I'm addicted to all things. There's no reason to change, gone too far now. And I'm stuck in my ways, back at the bar now. They say I'm a burden, they right, I ain't perfect, I. So when I'm thirsty, I'm perking and purposely searching for something that's hurting me so. I just can't pack up and go, I just back out of it slow. That's how it go, I like to back out the hole. And next like I don't know. I think he be laughing at me, hands be grabbing at me. Feel like God let it happen till we dab it blasphemy. And these be a tab it naturally. I think I better let it go. Either that or I gotta let it know. And I can't do that.
There's a creature in my closet. I can hear him rumbling around. The demon screaming in the distance creates such a humbling sound. The monster that's outside my window, he's like family to me now. The things that people are afraid of never let me down.
What's up, everyone? Ooh, nachos. That sounds good. I made some kale soup last night, so I might have that again. I'm just gonna look through all my... I have like a million tabs because there's been so much going on in the news. I found a couple things I wanted to share. Crazy shit. Really crazy shit. All right, but I gotta figure out which ones first. Tried to put them in order, but now, of course, on the StreamYards, they're not in order. There's so many conferences and injuries. Let me see if this is the right one. Nachos. Yeah, I think this is it. Let me go back to this side first and say hello before I play this. So, let me see. Rebel City Dorks. Could you please write down what your main channel is? Because I don't know what it is. The cop stealing his kid one yesterday was insane, says Kimmykins. Yeah, it's just completely, it's insane. So I have a few tabs about that one too. I wasn't sure originally if I was going to, but since there was literally just another presser, I have both of the pressers already in the StreamYard if anyone wants to see those ones when I get to him. But just reading a little bit about his history, it was completely insane that how can a guy like a known predator basically have this many jobs working with law enforcement and children multiple times after multiple allegations is beyond me. And I feel like that's probably going to get looked into. I mean, they'll probably do some sort of internal investigation or whatever. Because, I mean, I don't know if some of you looked into his history, but he's been working off and on with children in police departments for several years. And there's been loads of allegations. So he's been targeting children for a very long time. And I just don't know, after losing so many jobs, he could go to another job, fill out an application, and still get hired. Is beyond me. So, but I figured I'd do the grandma one first. Well, actually, I don't know if she's the grandma. This happened out of Michigan. I don't know if anyone in here is in Michigan. I think Becky is, but I don't know if she's here right now. Let me see. I don't think so. Yeah, I don't have much of a... I don't got a big audience right now. It's not drama. It's actual real life events. Imagine that. Let me make this one bigger. Is this the one I wanted to share? So has anyone in here, first of all, heard of the story of the lady that allegedly got drunk, drove her car and plowed into a boat club at a children's birthday party and drove? Once she hit the building, her car still launched 25 additional feet, pinning 2 children underneath her car. That car injured 15 other people and killed 2 children, a brother and a sister, at the birthday party, which is completely horrible. And I can't imagine, and all those people in there. I heard there was up to 70 people there at this event, and they had, used the boat club for the event. And how horrifying that must have been to bystanders, everybody at the party, all the other children. The mom, it was reported earlier that she was fighting for her life on a ventilator, and her sister had to go tell her before the plug was pulled. So from what I've gathered, the mom has now passed away too, and had to be told that her children didn't make it either. So a mom and 2 children were killed now because of that event. The mom wasn't killed on site, but she was critical and not going to make it. So it's very sad. Very, very sad. Hey, Peachy. It's horrifying, but I got a couple different clips of it. It's just completely insane. And it looks like the lady who crashed her car into the boat club, she got injured too. So,
Southeastern Michigan, what was supposed to be a day of celebration, which ended in tragedy.
An 8-year-old and 4-year-old brother and sister attending a birthday party at the Swan Boat Club in Monroe County were both killed. An SUV slammed into part of the boat club where the party was taking place. You can see the video right here.
flying.
Other adults and children were hurt, some facing life-threatening injuries.
Now a memorial is growing outside. Many people dropping off flowers, teddy bears, and crosses. Michael Sandlin joining us live from Newport in Monroe County, where there's
Also, she had just left a bar just down the road, and it's reported that her own house is 3 houses down from where she crashed. Like, you couldn't walk 3 houses,
happened. So, Michael, what new information are we learning about the person who was behind the wheel?
Don't drink and drive. Get a freaking Uber.
Jeff, the Monroe County Sheriff's Office confirmed that the person accused of taking their vehicle and driving it into the building behind me, 66-year-old Marshall Chester, is currently sitting in the Monroe County Jail. Now, there's been no official charges against Chester yet. In fact, Monroe County Prosecutor Jeffrey Yorkie told me his office likely will not press charges until tomorrow, as they're waiting for further information from Monroe Police and the Monroe County Sheriff's Office. Yorkie said, "We appreciate the public's patience. Know that you understand how important it is to have all the information in front of us before making such an important decision." Earlier today, I got a chance to see those investigators hard at work when I went to Chidester's home.
3 doors
just a
down.
few hundred feet down the road
That's her
from
house.
the Swan Boat Club. Our cameras caught officers executing a search warrant on the property, and one detective at the scene confirmed their investigation was, quote, open and active. Meanwhile, information on Chidester herself is limited, but we were able to confirm she has a connection to the Swan Boat
Look how
Club.
fast she was
An old
going.
press release from the club reveals she once served as the club's commodore. Or Representative
That's her right there, Marcella Chidester, right at the top there. She was an officer of the boat club that she crashed into.
From the boat club wouldn't talk on camera. The board of directors did release a statement saying, we need to process this grief, support each other, support the families directly and indirectly involved, and be in each other's company. Now, as I said, Chidester's not been officially charged yet, but the Monroe County prosecutor says we should expect to see those charges as early as tomorrow and learn more about her arraignment.
Michael, Jeff, back here in the studio now. What about the victims? Do we have any updates on who they were or their condition tonight?
Yeah, Jeff, so we actually got a press release from the Monroe County Sheriff's Office just a few hours ago, revealing that the two victims that died here on Saturday.
She had been on, it sounds like she was on some sort of board at one point, right at the top.
4-year-old Zane Phillips and 8-year-old Alana Phillips were siblings. And we also learned the condition of the 9 people that were sent to the hospital as well.
Some are critical
We've now
right now.
learned that 2 people were in critical condition, a 31-year-old woman and an 11-year-old boy. 3 people were in serious condition, an 18-year-old female, a 16-year-old female, and a 14-year-old male, and 4 people have minor injuries.
At the time of this video, when this video was taken, that woman they were talking about, the 31-year-old, I believe was the mother, because she was, she just, I believe earlier, not too long ago, before the presser, they had to pull the vent on her,
A 70-year-old female, a 66-year-old female, a 62-year-old female, and a 57-year-old female. Now, we'll continue to bring you.
So this woman plowed into her babies, her 2 young children, brother and sister, and they died on the scene. They were, from what I've heard, they were pinned under the car. Must have been like the most horrific scene
more
ever.
Updates on these people's condition.
I know, a birthday party.
More. But for now, reporting in Newport, I'm Michael Sanon, WTOL 11.
Make sure you have the WTOL 11.
Well, that's it for that one. I mean, there was a, let me see. This is another short clip, I think. I wasn't sure if I was going to play this one. But I got the whole presser from earlier that I'll probably play. It was pretty intense, I'll tell you that.
He says they were inside.
I know not everyone will want to see it.
All of this went down. He says, in fact, that his daughter is one of the victims recovering in the hospital. More on her in just a minute. But this was a birthday party on a Saturday
Let me see when this
for
one
a
was.
3-year-old child. He tells me that there were roughly 70 people inside.
This was yesterday.
Describing what happened when that vehicle crashed through. He said it sounded like an explosion, like a propane tank exploded. And that was just the first explosion. He says the car traveled 25 feet into the venue, striking a bar inside. Another explosion, trapping victims underneath this vehicle. And today we saw a number of people coming out to the same scene, laying down flowers and other tributes, trying to make sense of what appears to be a senseless tragedy. Outside the Swan Boat Club, a memorial of flowers, stuffed animals, and balloons grows bigger. Neighbors and strangers alike come to pay tribute, not knowing what else to do.
I can't even speak to how bad this is. It's unbelievable. And this is a small community. I know everybody involved, and it's just tragic all around.
And
What's
it
up,
just
Southern girl?
touched our hearts, so we wanted to come.
What up, Ran?
Drop off a stuffed animal and say a prayer for the families.
All brought here by a tragedy that unfolded Saturday.
Right now I'm talking about the woman, the 66-year-old woman who crashed her car into a boat club, striking a bunch of victims, multiple victims, killing 2 children's siblings that were supposed to be enjoying a birthday party.
Afternoon. According to the Monroe County Sheriff,
Monroe County, Michigan.
A 66-year-old woman was behind the wheel of this car, caught on home security cameras, speeding down a narrow dirt road, crashing into the side of the Swan Boat Club house. During a news conference on Saturday night, the sheriff says the car traveled 25 feet into the building, killing 2 children.
See, she had to be going pretty damn fast. You could tell in the video, but after it hit the building, it still went 25 feet further inside.
13 others were
flying.
injured. The 2 killed
Those
were
are the
8-year-old
Those are the babies right there. I mean, I can't imagine.
Lana and her brother, 5-year-old Zane.
Horrible.
Both are named in a GoFundMe account, along with their mother, who's currently in critical condition.
So the mom was in critical condition, and the sister in court, which I have the presser that was done earlier, was crying in court, and she said that she had to take her off the ventilator and was the one that had to tell her about her children. So it's just unreal.
What would you say that this community needs going forward here?
Sounds good to me, Chaotic.
I don't even know. Togetherness, support for each other.
Yeah.
That's about all you can really say. Is we just need to support each other.
On Monday, another GoFundMe account for a young woman named Leah recovering in the ICU after the crash. According to her dad, she was attending her 3-year-old cousin's birthday party. As for the alleged driver, a 66-year-old woman who lives close to the boat club, the sheriff says she was at a local bar prior to the crash. An attorney now representing Verna's Tavern.
So this place that she was at, a lot of people assume she got drunk here, but this place, Verna's, is that what it's called? Bar and Grill? So yeah, they're going to put out a statement, which will come on here in a minute, but they're being blamed for this and they're getting death threats and all kinds of shit like that. And, people are quick to jump on them, but the receipts, they're investigated right now. And what it shows is they gave her 1 glass of wine and a bowl of soup. So clearly she might be drinking somewhere else. You know what I mean? Or it's been reported by people that know her that she drinks a lot in her car. But this is just so crazy. This lady lived 3 doors down. This is just a reminder why I'm showing this, to not drive drunk. Get a fucking Uber, please. Walk your ass home.
Issued the following statement.
What up,
quote,
Judo?
"We are saddened beyond words by the news of this horrible tragedy. Our most sincere thoughts and prayers go out to all those that lost their lives, their family members, witnesses, and all of our community that is in pain due to this incident. We ask for patience during the investigation, and the justice system will be allowed to uncover the actual facts surrounding the accident." End quote. As for the suspect, that 66-year-old woman, we're told right now she is in jail, Monroe County Jail, being held on driving while intoxicated, causing death. She's expected to make her first court appearance sometime tomorrow.
So I have the court appearance next, which was earlier in. This woman was retired. She never so much as had even a ticket, not even a speeding ticket. So that's what they're trying to argue in court, her lawyer. I mean, but come on now. Look how many people are traumatized forever. Let me see if this is the right one.
Swan Boat Club in Newport. We're going to go to the sheriff, who we know is speaking about this. We're going to get an update right now.
Okay, so this is the first update, and then I have the actual court appearance. The court appearance that I'm going to play after this is very intense. And this right here, this officer, you can tell he was very traumatized by it too, because you can hear him trying not to cry. But this one's pretty short. I'll play this too. This was first.
Upon arrival, first aid was provided to approximately 15 victims, which included adults and young children. 9 of those victims were transported by ambulance and or medical helicopter to local hospitals with serious life-threatening injuries. A total of 3 children and 6 adults were transported. Several others were transported by private vehicle to local hospitals. Unfortunately, in tragedy, 2 of the victims were pronounced deceased at the scene.
Hi, Grammosaurus.
This includes an 8-year-old female and a 5-year-old male who are siblings of each other. The 66-year-old female driver of the vehicle, who will not be identified at this time, has been taken into police custody for operating while intoxicated, causing death, and she's lodged at the Monroe County Jail. Additional criminal charges will likely be brought against the driver as the investigation proceeds. At this time, investigators are continuing to process evidence at the scene, identify victims, interview witnesses, and reunite family members. The scene was described by the first responders as extremely chaotic, with high level of emotions of those directly involved and those who witnessed this horrific incident. With me today are members of emergency first responders who were at the scene dealing with this tragedy. That includes Berlin Township Fire Department, Frenchtown Township Fire Department, Monroe Township Fire Department, Rockwood Fire Department, Monroe Community Ambulance, Huron Valley Ambulance, and the University of Michigan Survival Life Flight, who dispatched 2 helicopters. I'm reminded.
Southern Girl, thank you for that. Love you. Thanks for making my day not boring. You're welcome. It seems like it's been pretty dull. I'm sorry to bring such tragic news, but that's, I mean, these are like things going on in real life, and it's pretty freaking sad, you know?
Everybody, this is an active investigation with the Monroe County Sheriff's Office being the lead investigation agency, our Traffic Services Division, our Detective Bureau, our Youth Services Division, evidence technicians, our drone team, and our chaplain service. We were assisted at the scene by members of the Monroe Public Safety Department's Accident Investigation Team, Detective Bureau, Chaplain Services, along with the Washtenaw County Sheriff's Office, Accident Investigation Team, and the Michigan State Police. That's all I have today.
If I remember correctly, this is southeastern Michigan, but I could be wrong on that.
Yes, ma'am.
There was a small police presence at Verna's Tavern. Is that where the suspect was prior to?
We have information that she may have been there, yes.
Are they being investigated?
We went in, we shut the business down, and we're in the process of executing a search warrant for information as to their business conducted at that day.
So that business is immediately shut down. They're doing an investigation into, you know, seeing how much they served her, which it's already been found. They served her 1 glass of wine and a bowl of soup again. And they, for anyone that missed it, are currently receiving death threats because people are just assuming they overserved her. Hello, Dodie. But it doesn't sound like the case. It sounds like she may have potentially, allegedly had drinks in her car. Somebody else on one of the clips, I don't know if it's one of the ones I have, stated they knew her. She's, you know, a small town, everyone knows each other, that she's a heavy drinker, and that her husband even bought the house near the boat club so that she can drink, because she's a heavy drinker, and make it home. That's been alleged in some of the clips I've seen. So what's the truth? I don't know. I don't know if she drinks in her car. It's all alleged, but these are what the people are saying.
You said,
Oh, Donna, if you missed it, this woman, 66-year-old woman named Marshalla Chidester from Monroe County, Michigan, was at a restaurant within the last couple days, a bar and grill type, and she somehow got drunk. They're claiming they only gave her 1 glass of wine and a bowl of soup, but it's been reported that she's a heavy drinker. She may have come from somewhere else and drank too first. She may have drank at home first. She's reportedly a heavy drinker, got drunk, and there's been clips that I already showed earlier. If you want to catch up on that part later on, it shows her in action crashing through the building. She was going at a high rate of speed. She plowed 25 feet through the building, and it was a little child's birthday party, and she killed 2 siblings, young siblings, and injured the mom critically, who I've heard her ventilator was shut off today. Injured tons of people. There's tons of people in the hospital, others in critical condition, but it's horrific. They were at a birthday party and they, you know, lost their life. I know it's horrible.
9 transported with serious life-threatening injuries, 3 children.
I'm going to be playing her court appearance, which happened earlier, next.
6 adults, and then there were other people who also went to local hospitals. Is that correct?
Yes, ma'am. They were transported by a private vehicle. Yes, ma'am.
So how many? 15 total victims, right?
That's what our preliminary estimates are, yes.
How many people were inside the structure?
We're having a difficult time determining that because of the mass, the scene, and trying to communicate with individuals that were there that could tell us how many people were in there. As you know, as I said, by the words of the first responders, it was chaotic.
Sounded like there was about 70 to me.
So the area that the party was in is separate from, say, the boat club. So there's a mix of people that were back and forth between the 2 areas. So it's complicated right now, trying to get everybody that was there. Some people who had left the scene, the people who were involved.
Thank you, Zapparella, for the 5
5
gifted memberships. If you got one, please thank you, Zapparella.
participating in boat club activities.
My name's Chief Wendy Stevens from Frenchtown Fire.
I know it's obviously an open investigation, but what was her demeanor after? I mean, were you able to communicate with her at all?
She just ruined her life and so many
Realize
lives.
what she had done. I mean, we've seen surveillance video, doorbell video of her just
Oh, Donna got one.
zooming through, like she doesn't even realize she's headed right towards the building.
As to her mental state, I don't want to get into that, but I can tell you that she cooperated at the scene.
This is just a horrific story.
It's anything else? Okay, thank you.
I don't think there was much
All
more.
right,
than
and
that.
you were listening to
Yeah.
the Monroe County Sheriff talking about an absolute tragedy. We have learned that 2 people have died, a brother and sister, very young victims.
Midnight Baker says, no, you don't get help for your alcohol problem. You just buy a house closer to your drinking establishment so you can walk home. Sound strategy. What could go wrong? You would think. You are 3 doors down, and she has ruined not only her life, but several other lives, and all those people impacted, all those people that witnessed that. So many people. I mean, she killed siblings, a family, destroyed a very large family, and all those bystanders that witnessed that, all those people with PTSD forever. It's horrible. I got her first court appearance, though. And it's a very emotional court appearance. One of the most I've seen. Because some of the family talks towards the end, and they're very naturally, obviously upset. And that's her right there. She clearly busted up her arm. And I already did watch this earlier, and I don't know what's running through her mind right now, but during this whole thing, this appearance in court, I could see that she actually was crying, so I don't know. I mean, but it's too late. You should have walked home. Hey, Holly Dolly. Three doors down. And yes, I did hear that, Midnight Baker, that her husband did that for her. Bought her the house closer to the drinking establishment. She's in her retirement years. Couldn't he have set her up with an Uber pass or something if it was that bad? I just don't get it. No, she's been in prison or jail a couple days. If she's a heavy drinker, then she's probably in the getting medical help in prison. I know some jail, sometimes they give them certain drugs to come off the alcohol because that can be dangerous if you're a heavy drinker and you stop. Sometimes they use Ativan and what's that other one? Librium? Is it Librium? I think it might be that one. What up, Tiger?
No, she's not there yet. I'll tell you when she is. Oh, that's her.
I mean, all right, so this court appearance is a little bit longer than some of them, and we'll get emotional towards the end, like I said. You know, it sucks. This happens a lot. The drunk driver lives, and the people they hit die. I mean, yeah, she's probably in the detox process, but I don't know what they give them. I don't even know if they treat them with regular pain meds when they break their arm. When they're in prison, I don't think they give them the same meds that they would give somebody that just walked in from the outside of the hospital. I don't know if they even give them anything besides Motrin. I don't know what they do. I don't know the prison stuff unless prison jail. Unless anyone else in here does. That might vary state to state too. I don't know. She doesn't appear to have the shakes though, so that would lead me to believe she's on some kind of medication. No narcotics. I didn't think so, Ran. Tylenol. Ouch. Sucks for her. We don't know what's under that wound. We don't know if she needs surgery, if she needs pins. I don't know what the damage is to her arm. I haven't found any of that yet.
All right, please.
Rand, isn't it? Don't they give them? Is it Librium? Is that the one for alcohol withdrawal? I know it's Ativan or Librium usually, right?
Thank you.
But I'm sure that could vary patient to patient. She also has other medications she's taken allegedly for seizures, which they're going to claim that was the cause.
Chidester?
Chesters.
Chidester. Case number 241971FY. Names for the record.
Your Honor, Jeff Yorkie on behalf of the people. Your Honor, Bill Colovis, P38434 on Ms. Chester. Thank you.
Thank you. I'm going to miss Chidester seated next to you. Today is the time and date set for arraignment pretrial, arraignment in this matter. The defendant is charged with count 1, homicide, 2nd degree, maximum penalty, life or any term of years. A consecutive sentence may be imposed under MCL 769.36 for each death that resulted from the operating.
Hey, Leslie.
Oh, I bet you're stuck.
I'm going to grab some more coffee.
Resulted in the vehicle, DNA upon arrest. Count 2, homicide, 2nd degree, same maximum penalty. Count 3, operating while intoxicated causing death, maximum penalty 15 years and or $2,500 to $10,000 monetary sanction. Defendant may be convicted for each death arising out of the same transaction. The court may order consecutive sentencing under MCL 269.36. Count 4, operating while intoxicated causing death, same penalty as count 3. Count 5, operating while intoxicated causing serious injury, maximum penalty up to 5 years and or $1,000 to $5,000 monetary sanction. Vehicle immobilization. How does the defendant take?
We stay in mute, Your Honor.
Case has been assigned to Judge Brown. Probable cause conference there, April 30th at 9 a.m. Via Zoom with an exam date of May 6th at 1:30. That will be in person. And I'll hear Mr. Yorkie.
Your Honor, the people are requesting a $1.5 million bond at this point, along with conditions. It is based, at least in part, on the fact that, as the court has already indicated, the defendant is facing 2 life sentences that could run consecutive to other offenses that are involved in this matter. In addition to that, we believe that the likelihood of conviction is extremely high here. We have ample video evidence showing exactly what happened during this incident. And finally, Judge, the defendant suffers from a very severe substance abuse issue, corroborated by friends and family members, and she creates a very high risk to the public. For all those reasons, we believe that a $1.5 million bond is in order in this particular case.
Your Honor, again, Bill Clovis on behalf of my client. Your Honor, I think the court has served in the judiciary for many years and understands and appreciates that at an arraignment, the client has not been found guilty. We don't have prejudgment penalties. What we do have here is somebody, when looking at bond, any favorable and unfavorable facts. The favorable facts are my client is 66 years of age. My client has no record whatsoever. In fact, she has never even received a traffic ticket of the 50 years of driving. She's better than I am. In 60 years on this earth, she's never had any traffic involvement. She's never had any law enforcement involvement. I think that adds a little credibility to her side of the table. In addition, she's owned her residence, which is about 400 feet from where this took place, for 40 years. She's retired from a position and was living a peaceful life with her husband in retirement.
Well, that's ruined now.
Fails to report is that she has a history, and even the neighbors in the news media has said that she drives like a little old lady when she drives. You got to drive around her. That in addition, that my client has a history of having seizures. And this history has lasted since last November. It started of an epileptic type seizure in her legs. In fact, that's that day she was treated for it. It's not like her to drive.
Drinking. Yeah, exactly.
She was drinking. If I may continue with all due respect from everyone, a search warrant was executed at the bar that was allegedly where she was at. The bar showed that she had one glass of wine 4 hours prior to 3 o'clock, between 11 and 12, and a bowl of chili. That was confirmed with a search warrant of what the receipt was.
Okay, it was chili, not soup. I stand corrected.
No doctor told her not to drive. The doctor told her not to drive for a number of months, very few months, and then she could operate a vehicle. About a month prior to this accident, Your Honor, because I want the court, I'm not doing a trial today, but I want the court to know everything in setting the bond, that this is not a monster. It's horrible what happened. Absolutely horrible. I have 2 children. It's absolutely horrible. But some things we don't have control over. If I have a heart attack at my age, I don't have control over it if I'm operating a vehicle and hit somebody. So, Your Honor, the $1.5 million in the murder charge, I don't know where that's coming from, but they have to prove it. And respectfully, Your Honor, we would ask for $100,000 cash or surety, 10%. She can have, the court can order home confinement. Police have never been called to her home. She doesn't even have a speeding ticket if there's such a substance abuse at 66 years of age. So we're asking for home confinement along with $100,000, 10% cash or surety. In addition, she can have an alcohol monitor. Any violation whatsoever, bond revoked. But she gets medical treatment. Absolutely gets medical treatment. In fact, they have all the prescriptions she's on at the jail, which are numerous because of the paralysis she gets once in a while in her legs. And it's all documented. I'll bring forward the medical records. So
This is really going to depend on a lot of things. I did work with a woman for many years that had seizures, but she had me and another woman, do the driving for her. You know, when she had medical appointments in Boston, anywhere, we drove her because she didn't want to take that risk because her doctor, every time she had a seizure, she'd have periods of having many and then have some clean, you know, that's how epilepsy is. It can come and go like that. You don't know when it's going to happen again. And, or, you know, you just can't predict it. It's the nature of the beast, unfortunately. But the medications you don't mix with alcohol. Clearly, that's the first thing. If it really was one, sometimes you can have one. But my point is this: the doctor always told my friend, you know, that I gave rides and stuff, if you had a seizure, you can't drive for a year, 6 months. They usually put every time you have a seizure, they'll make sure you don't drive, and they'll tell you that. And you can lose your license, you know. I can't buy this.
We're burning somebody at the stake. by just craziness,
Cool.
just crazy words being that because there's been deaths, which is horrible, absolutely horrible. But we have to go back and say, how did it happen? If me, Bill Clovis, has a heart attack on the freeway and I hit somebody changing a tire, I can't be liable in today's society.
Yeah, but your ass wasn't drunk. You did purposely burn the shit. So they're two different things.
Again, let me repeat. They did a search warrant and it showed one glass of wine 4 hours prior. Thank you, Judge.
Yeah, I respond, Judge. Your Honor.
How do you keep going? Not hit no break or turn.
Because sometimes you have a seizure and your legs freezes up.
Your Honor, there is no indication whatsoever in any of the evidence that we have uncovered in this case that the defendant suffered from a seizure at the time.
Also, another thing, if she is claiming to have had a seizure, that would have been documented at the hospital, and they probably would have done some testing that we may find out later on about. They would do EEGs and everything else. You know what I mean? They'd be looking into that, especially with a crash case. They obviously would have took her blood level, everything. They do all that stuff after an accident, so we'll see about that.
Time of this incident. In fact, quite the opposite. A very long investigation.
Yeah, chaotic. That's how it goes.
Preliminary
Sucks.
breath test done.
That's why
which indicated that her blood
many of us
alcohol
are always
level was
scared. We don't know when it's going to
significantly
happen.
over the legal limit. What's more is based on she indicated herself that she had some seizure issues and she was on some medication and that she wasn't supposed to be drinking, but admitted that she had been drinking that day. So she is a danger to this community, and that is illustrated no clearer than the 2 dead children that she is directly responsible for. A $1.5 million bond in this case is.
And now the children's mother has since passed away.
How do you save the community from
The rumors are that she drinks in her car in parking lot.
Excuse me, rumors. Hopefully they don't have rumors on any of the people here today.
In the state of Michigan, if you have a
They
seizure,
sure will go back. They will be going back in a minute. Oh, I'm sure this is going to be a lengthy investigation. They'll be checking into all these allegations. Let me see. Did they say what her blood alcohol? Yeah, they said it was over the limit. I don't know if he already said the number, but he said it was well over the limit. I think that does come up.
Your Honor, may I continue?
Yes.
Thank you.
she took my 2 grandbabies.
Let's start.
Either way, Trader, she was 3 doors down. And this is one reason I'm, showing this as a reminder to people how drinking and driving can affect many. That one decision she made to not walk her ass home 3 doors down.
She almost killed 3 of mine.
Take an Uber?
I don't know if you can mute for right now.
Now hundreds are going to have
Your
PTSD.
Honor, again, if it's the safety of the public, there's no history whatsoever. Number 2 is she can be put on an alcohol tether. Number 3 is she can be put in her home. If she violates her home to go get her mail, she can be picked up and put in without bond. We'll stipulate to that.
Southern Girl, I believe in this press later on, the sister's going to talk about having to take the mother of the children off the ventilator because she states she had to tell her sister that the kids didn't make it before they took the ventilator off. So that part is coming up, I believe.
So, the court's seen many, many people, thousands of people.
There's other young people and older people in critical condition right now, though.
Before the court, and it's seen criminal history. We don't even have traffic ticket. It's absolutely horrible, but we're not punishing somebody before they're convicted. Thank you.
Yeah, we'll see what the doctors are going to say when they investigate, if they told her not to drive or not, and if she really has a type of seizure that was, I don't know if it's a scapegoat.
Those were my grandbabies.
Here's the grandma talking now.
Thank you. Your
She
name,
made
please.
that choice to put in that car. She chose to drink and drive. And she took my grandbaby from us.
Understood. Your name for the record, ma'am?
My name is Kathy Phillips, and I'm the grandmother of the 2 babies that were killed.
Thank you. Factors I've considered in setting bond. She has no criminal history, identified criminal history, no incidents of non-appearance.
It's not worth the risk to take that drive and not call an Uber in today's Look at all the options we have. Lyft, Uber. It's very easy now. That one decision, look at how many people are forever ruined.
If we could start with your name, ma'am.
My name is Raquel Smothers. I am Mariah's sister.
Thank God is right, Holly Dolly. This is the sister.
What he had said about getting injections in her legs for something, knowing that with or without drinking, you're still putting people in harm's way because with muscles and everything, you can't control something. Why operate a vehicle knowing you're taking medicine that drinking will affect it? I was there. I seen more. My daughter, my mom, my sister, my nephew from the opposite side of the family.
Interesting.
My sister's 3 children. We were supposed to be planning a birthday party for Zane, not a funeral. Knowing you have medical conditions, you should never get behind a wheel whether you are drinking or not. Taking medications, they tell you not to drink, but she still chose to drink. She still chose to get into that vehicle. I will never look at the month of April the same ever again. My birthday was a few days prior. The babies were just at my house. My niece with her flawless curly hair loved to dance. My nephew, he always hated my truck was dirty. Like, I cleaned my truck out just for him.
Wow.
He loved jujitsus. He loved cracking jokes. Eminem was his idol. They walked into that.
She said Eminem was his idol. I kind of hope that gets back to Eminem. I hope maybe he could do something, for the family.
Birthday party, having a fun time. They were sitting at that table, eating. And this woman crashed her car through this building.
I think it depends, traders. I worked with a woman who was actually a friend of mine, and with another woman, and we took turns driving her to appointments after, she'd have a period of time. Because you just don't know with epilepsy and seizures. They can come at any time, but the doctor would clear her after a year, seizure-free, she could drive, but she sometimes would feel it, and not everybody does, and she would just kind of feel it coming on, and would say, drive me, and sometimes she was right and sometimes she wasn't, but you know what? She has since gone in her car since I stopped working with her, and she did get in a crash. So she shouldn't be on the road if she still is. I don't work with her anymore, but it's just, after that, I mean, you would think you wouldn't drive anymore. You would think.
Destroying all of our lives. Not just my family, everyone else that was in that building.
Why take the
risk? My nephew
risk?
and my sister are still fighting for their lives today. I had to be the one to tell my sister her babies were gone when they removed her ventilator yesterday.
So she said they removed the ventilator yesterday. I took that as she passed away. Maybe she's okay after all.
She said, how am I supposed to live without my babies?
Can you imagine waking up in the hospital from a ventilator and somebody tells you that both of your young children were killed at a birthday party? Like, God, this poor family. And we all, people on here think we have problems in the drama here. This is real life shit.
Nobody should ever have to go to a birthday party thinking that they're going to die. Medical history or not, every medication tells you not to drink. She knew it. She shouldn't have done it. I had to see my deceased niece and nephew. I had to see their very last moment before their car was removed. I seen it. And my sister can't decide what she wants. And then babies, I can tell you right now, cannot have an open casket. It's a horrible, dramatic thing. I cannot close my eyes at night without seeing the babies and what they look like.
All those people witnessed all of this.
No, I'm done.
Again, I heard upwards to 70 people were there. So this is just horrific.
And she's a known drunk.
To her credit, she does have ties to the community. However,
Can I say something, Your Honor? I'm the brother of the father.
your name, please.
Nicholas Phillips.
All right. Go ahead.
I did see her crying during some of it. I could see tears. Not right now, but I did see some earlier. But you'd think I would be hysterical, yeah.
Deliberately, without even hitting a break, destroyed my brother's life. Those was his baby. His little girl used to go to his basketball games. And now that little girl is not going to be able to go see it. Their father, because a woman claims to have high community ties to her community, want to drive and hit the gas even further when she got to that parking lot and destroyed multiple lives. My brother is in the hospital right now. Praying that his little boy comes through. And he still got to tell his son that he lost his sister and brother. How is that right? Or how is that even fair? How is it even justified? Because the woman,
Thank you, Leslie.
she got some type of medical issue. As my sister said, you take medicine for years. You're an adult. You could read the label. It says do not drink. And you can't sit here and tell me one drink that would do that. You can't. I'm a high educated man. You can't tell me that. And there's no justifying what she did to my family. There's none. This will never, ever be right. There's none in this world that anybody can sit here and say, oh, she could say it was an accident. That was not an accident. I know what accidents look like. That happened all the time on a freeway. If she was not drunk as people claim it, her house is 3 houses away from what she did.
3 houses away.
Why didn't she just go home?
She could have walked.
Why did she? It's right there. 3 houses away from where she did that stuff that she did to my brother's family. 3 houses. Why did she go home?
Thank you.
So you as the defender, you should feel ashamed for even trying to stick up for only one drink. One drink don't do that, sir. It never will. Thank you, Your Honor.
Can I say something?
Your name, please.
Rosemary Stitt.
Thanks, Ryan.
Go ahead.
I drove there. My 3 children were there. And whether you're having a seizure or not, that was intentional. You couldn't drive the way that those roads bend and the way that you drive in there. There is no way that woman was not conscious in turning that vehicle. She aimed it right there, right at the bar, where probably her husband should have been sitting. I don't know what her intentions were, but I can tell you it was in purpose and it was intentional. You can tell. We all know it.
Thank you.
May I speak, Your Honor?
Your name, please?
No, never,
My name's
couldn't
Joshua
at all.
Still. So I'm a member of the boat club, and I've been a member for many years, and I'm familiar with Marcella. And during my 10 years of being a member of the boat club, and most of the time I've seen her, she's been highly intoxicated, and I've watched people try to walk her out the door dozens and dozens of times.
Dang.
And you know, one of the things that aren't brought up here is the fact that she hit a vehicle down the road and a tree down the road. And I believe that that it wasn't intentional, but I do believe that it was a situation where she was trying to flee and run from what she had just done down the road. She shouldn't have been driving. And everybody knew that, right? Everybody, you're a member of the boat club, you know this lady shouldn't be driving. And I believe she was fleeing that scene. And there's a speed bump before you enter the parking lot to the boat club, as well as like a runoff ditch that you got to pass over with your vehicle. We all drive 10 miles an hour through that area because of these, you know, and it's a narrow road. But I believe that she was fleeing from hitting the truck so that she wouldn't get caught drunk driving.
Oh, shoot.
And in doing so, hit the speed bump as well as the little ditch that's 30 feet past that and lost control of her vehicle. So I don't believe it's intentional, but I do believe that, and I know that she
This is a really bad witness for her case.
she drinks a lot and she, you know, should never get behind the wheel. And if you're under that much medicine as her attorney states, then even one glass of wine could potentially, you know, do you like this. And not only that, is a lot of medications, you know, you're not supposed to drive on.
If that's a kid's face on that account, can somebody delete it? I can't tell.
Right. So, you know, whether it's the alcohol or it's the medication or it's neither, this lady should never be behind the wheel. We've watched her, you know, take baby steps to get out of the place because she could barely walk. Right, let alone get behind a wheel. And you know, for such a frail lady to cause such devastation in her car, I think that I think that she shouldn't be freed on bond because of this. You know, I believe it's decades of her drunk driving that just caught up to her, is what I believe. And decades of her driving under the influence of whether it be pills or
Blew to her
alcohol.
case right here.
And I would point towards alcohol from my experience of knowing you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Your Honor.
All right. I went over some of the
Yeah, she was Harley's
issues
World.
that impact my decision in setting bond. High on that list is the fact that she's facing 2 life sentences, 2 15-year sentences, and 4 5-year sentences. Therefore, I find reason bond to be 1.5 million.
1.5 million bond.
Conditions. It will be reporting to pretrial services. Defendant is to appear for examination, arraignment, trial, sentence, at any time directed by any court, abide by any judgment issued by any court. Do not leave the state of Michigan without permission of the court. Do not commit any crime allowed on bond. Immediately notify the court in writing of any change of address or telephone number. No use of alcohol or any illegal controlled substances. Submit to substance abuse testing and monitoring, including a SCRAM tether and GPS tether. Do not purchase or possess a firearm or other dangerous weapon.
Oh my Lord.
Forfeit any passport.
9 months pregnant?
Not operate a motor vehicle while on bond.
Your Honor, if I may. Thank you, Judge. The 1.5 million, will they be cash, surety, or 10%?
Cash or
10% at all?
surety.
She has no history whatsoever, Your Honor.
between her and the surety. I believe the surety would typically take 10% of that to post their guarantee if there's one more shot.
Okay, all right, thank you.
Man, that was pretty powerful. I caught a couple things that I hadn't caught before, like the tree and fleeing the scene. But that last witness was a ding to her case. I could see the lawyer like, oh shit. So it sounds like she has a big time history. What's your intro song? Oh, that's Jelly Roll Creature. Now let me see. So so there's another case. I wasn't sure if I was going to show this at first, but let me see. I'm sure some of you heard of the guy that kidnapped the 1-year-old. I got a lot of clips on that. This is absolutely insane and could have been prevented so many times. What blows my mind is this was a case of a predator that clearly got jobs around children on purpose. You can't be this much of a predator. I don't know how there was so many allegations, internal affairs, reports. It just doesn't make sense. There's going to be big problems with this one, I'll tell you that. Because this guy became a cop, he became a substitute teacher and was, messing around with the children he worked with. I think some of you probably know about it, but here's a little intro into that one.
Let's listen in.
I'll introduce myself. I'm Captain
Oh,
Cobb.
actually, that's the last one. I don't want to play that one first. Let me find the other one. I'll play a clip on it. I think I'll do the first. It's already over with and done with, but I thought I'd give a little backstory to it for those that don't know. Because it's just not right that he was around children. And you just never know. So it just, if your children tell you something, listen to them, take them serious. I'm talking about this because one of the girls that is now deceased told her parents when she was young that she was messing around with this guy. And, when they did an investigation into it, the mom, her own parents said, oh, she just makes stories up like that. So it could have been prevented when she was very young. One of the girls, it just blows my mind that her own family didn't listen to her. And now she's dead. Oh, I think there was a problem with the volume at first. Let me see. I think they had some mic problems at first. I gotta find where you can hear.
In West Richland was Angelica Santos.
Is that loud enough? Because it doesn't seem to go any louder.
The suspect's 17-year-old girlfriend and mother of the recovered child. Ms. Santos was also the victim of the rape of a child in the third-degree case. Ms. Santos' homicide is still under investigation, and specific cause of her death remains undetermined at this time, pending an autopsy. Our deepest gratitude goes out to law enforcement personnel who worked around the clock on this case, as well as the community members involved whose vigilance and support played a crucial role in this resolution. I'd also like to specifically give credit to the Oregon State Police and the Lane County Sheriff's Office for their courage and commitment by putting their lives on the line in order to apprehend the suspect safely and recover Roman.
Wish I could turn it up.
While we're grateful for this positive development, my heart remains heavy with sorrow
Leslie?
for tragic circumstances that have occurred and for the impact that it's had and will have in this community. Our hearts go out to all of those who have been directly affected by this event and the entire community. I'd like to personally assure the community that my department will continue to pour all available resources into addressing this matter and protecting our schools and our members of our community. Our investigation into this matter continues. I hope that the conclusion of this manhunt may serve as a catalyst for healing among all those impacted by this dreadful event. At this time, I'd like to
So this predator that I spoke of, the ex-cop, ex-substitute teacher, ex-wrestling coach, volunteer wrestling coach, killed his girlfriend, underage girlfriend and wife, and took her child and fled. So there was a big manhunt. This has been going on the last couple days.
Dr. Redinger come up.
I hope you can hear this. It's very soft.
The past few days have been incredibly tough for our staff, students, families, and the entire Tri-Cities community. Our district has suffered a profound loss in the passing of Amber Rodriguez, a remarkable paraeducator at William Wiley Elementary, where she worked since September 2022. Our deepest condolences go out to Amber's family during this difficult time. As we navigate through this tragedy, our primary focus remains on providing support to the students and staff in our schools, with special attention to Wiley Elementary as they return to school today. We understand that the support needed may vary across the Richland School District, and we are committed to being responsive to the needs of all of our students.
When he went on his rampage, this ex-cop, he went to the school where his ex-wife worked and shot her right in front of his 9-year-old son. Also, so that's why the school's involved. There was kids at the school, they were getting out, and other kids witnessed this. And like I said, his own son saw him kill his mother.
Students and staff. I'd like to conclude by sharing some words from Paul Chartrand, our principal at Wiley Elementary. We will get through this. We will take our time and do this together. There is no timeline for what this looks like or how long it will take, but we need to lean on each other and do what is best for our kids. Thank you to our community for the continued support as our district begins to heal.
So at this time, I'll introduce Eric Eisinger, the prosecutor of Benton County, and he can field questions.
Good morning. Any questions this morning? Yes, Mr. Probert. We are still working on that. So in terms of a specific timeline, in terms of which victim was killed first, I can't provide additional information about that this morning. But that is something that is being looked into. There is an autopsy that will be conducted.
And his girlfriend that he killed, his live-in girlfriend, was only 17 at the time he killed her, and the baby was 1 year old.
Regarding Ms. Santos' homicide. Yeah, so we are aware that he had, to specifically answer your question, we do not know specifically what the motive was or the reason was this happened. There were some pending criminal charges, and of course that there were some domestic matters that were pending in court, but specifically as to the reason, we're not aware at this time.
Was Ms. Santos still living at that house? Was this inside West Island, South Island?
That's undetermined at this time as well in terms of what her residential status was at the time of the homicide.
There was a restraining order or a protection order in place.
That is correct. There was a protection order protecting Ms. Santos from Mr. Weezar. Yes, sir.
Where did Mr. Weezar get the gun from?
That matter is still under investigation.
Oh.
So this is an active law enforcement investigation. We are still pursuing all of the leads. There are still
I may have hit something by accident, but
a lot of work.
I can't
that's
see
done
the
in this
comment.
case, and so at this point, we do not have more information about that item. Yes, sir. My understanding is that the 1-year-old will be picked up by Washington CPS, and that
Yes,
Washington
Chica.
CPS will be involved in a placement decision. In terms of the specific timing on when Roman will return to the community, I'm not aware of that information, but I would anticipate that it would be in the near future. Yes, sir.
Are there any resources for police officers that have done or are going through domestic violence?
Yes, there are resources. When agencies become aware that an officer is dealing with a domestic violence situation, then there are all kinds of procedures and protocols that go into place regarding what an agency should do.
I have
In
that
terms of what
video.
happened in this specific instance, I'm not
I actually turned the page. I have a clip of that. I have the unedited version, actually.
aware of those details, and so I can't speak to that here.
Do you know how many kids
We do not have a specific number, but unfortunately, this incident occurred with several members of our community and of the Wiley staff and students that were present or nearby at the time of the incident. Those matters were charged against two separate victims. That's correct.
And we haven't identified the second victim at all because of the child.
So we have the identity of the victim in both the rape of a child in the third degree and the rape second, and those are separate victims on those two cases. Ms. Santos was the victim on the rape of a child in the third degree case and is the homicide victim here who was recovered in the suspect's residence.
He's racked up so many crimes and charges that I'm gonna read the timeline after this because there's so much to it, and he got away with this for years. Hey, Rosie.
Are you referring to the Amber Alert?
No, before the Amber Alert, in the reports online, it says that the baby had been reported missing Sunday at 5 p.m.
So in terms of a specific timeline, I think that's something that still remains to be completely nailed down. So,
Hi, Judo.
Because this is still ongoing, we're still learning more about the situation. I don't have a specific answer for you about the timeline. Yeah. Yes, ma'am.
And is there going to be any additional resources being available to the school or to the West Richland community in general?
Yes. So the Richland School District is working with. I'll let Dr. Redinger answer that question. Thank you.
Yes, there's just been an outpouring of support. And so even today we have neighboring districts have counselors, social workers in our schools and at the district office for families. We also are working with the individuals that were right there and witnessed the event to actually have extra counseling.
And I have a follow-up question.
Sure.
And today they're back to school as normal. Is there any resources being provided to them at school right now, or are they just going about school like a daily or ordinary day?
Oh no, very far from ordinary day. So the focus is on coming together as family and working together. There are scripts that were provided to all of the teachers to start the day. So it's a community working together through this. It's real important to start getting back into your routine, but it does not look the same as every day. Yeah.
And so, yes, and that's a good question. Also, the police department, we were there this morning too. I was there. We brought in our therapy dog for the kids and stuff as they return to school too, as well as I believe the school district also had a couple therapy dogs.
Yes, the therapy dogs we found to be very instrumental. And after this hearing here, I'm going to go ahead and go to the school and check in on everybody. And right now, just lots of hugs and support.
Yes, ma'am.
Could you please describe, like, after Cesar shot himself, was it apparent that he was immediately dead, or were there life-saving measures or some sort of ambulance transport after the incident?
I'm not aware of the timing between the self-inflicted gunshot wound to the head and his actually being pronounced deceased at the scene. So that's information that I do not have at the moment. I also don't have information about what life-saving measures were offered, but he did die at the scene of a self-inflicted gunshot wound.
And could you confirm his police background for the record? I've seen various reports online, but I want to make sure that we're getting the correct information.
He was previously employed by the Yakima Police Department.
As an officer?
Yes. Yes, sir.
I was just curious, why was there a set for after the
This was on which case?
the most recent murder case?
So I'm not aware of the circumstances of yesterday's court hearing, but it would be typical that we would have a follow-up hearing after the filing of a charge. Obviously, that completely changed. These cases will be closed based on these circumstances and the death of Mr. Huizar, of course. Does that answer your question, sir? Okay, all right.
Yes. Does the school district believe it needs to change their hiring for the background check policy?
We've been talking about that a great deal recently. Do I need to do over here?
Yes, right.
Oh, yeah. We've been talking about that a great deal with my team. We'll be debriefing. Today, we actually have another meeting just to look at everything and make sure that we're not missing something and moving forward. Obviously, we don't want something like this to ever happen again. So we'll be looking at our processes and just making sure that we have all the layers we need to have confidence in who we are hiring. So, yes.
I have another question, please.
Mhm.
Do you think this will change your guys' protocol moving forward, or do you believe your guys' protocol stays the same?
That's what we're going to be meeting about and looking
For
to
sure,
see
Midnight
all
Baker.
things that we want to change. Yes.
Sir, is there any support for this young 1-year-old son? I know that's very young, but is there any kind of therapy or services or extra care for this young individual that was along for the ride this week?
CPS will obviously be working on making a placement for the child for Roman, but you're right to point out that this leaves Roman.
I hope he
without
has
father or
family
mother,
that
and
can take him.
This is a child who is going to need support, and that is something that I'm certain will be addressed. As the superintendent indicated, there have been a lot of different agencies from around the community who have really rallied to help provide support in this situation. I'm sure that's going to be true for Rome as well.
And what about the other children?
So we are already working with local agencies to help support the other children that are in our school system as well, too. Yes. And so, our hearts go out to them more than anyone, the three children. And so we will be doing everything we can to continue to support them.
And there's a boy and another boy or a girl? I'm sorry, I don't know what sex of these children are.
Yes, boys.
2 boys.
Mhm.
And do you have ages on them?
I don't know if I could share all that.
Okay.
Yes, sorry. Yeah, just because of their ages. Yes.
There's one more question about the background check. Knowing what you know now, will you be doing background checks again on the people that you've already hired?
Again, we're going to be debriefing that today. Yes, going through and yes.
Question for Pastor Eisner.
Yes.
Do we know any more information about the potential fighting that happened and whether it was last again? Was there like was there like the town and
You mean in terms of how Mr. Huizar was apprehended? So there was a combined law enforcement effort from multiple agencies to locate the vehicle, and ultimately that led to Oregon State Police finding the vehicle southbound on I-5. And there were a number of details that led up to that. This case still is a pending investigation, so I'm not able to release all of that information at this time. But thankfully, due to the combined effort of all the agencies, we were able to find the vehicle.
I don't know how they tracked him, but they did good.
The minor child.
So what was their target for that between the time they first started 5 early in the morning and 2:30?
So again, because this is an active, ongoing investigation, we are still looking into details, and I'm not able to disclose more information about his behavior between leaving Benton County and being apprehended. Yes, ma'am. All I can say is the case is still under investigation. Law enforcement are continuing to look into this matter. Yes, ma'am. Yes.
This guy was a school resource officer around children.
My understanding. Go ahead, Chief.
I was going to say this morning, the commander reported that the baby stayed the night with them and he's fine, and that they're looking at, I believe, trying to get him picked up today by Washington State. So everything appeared to be fine. Right, Commander? Oh, I'm sorry. All right. Yes, there you go. Okay.
Do you have any, is there any information about
I do do not have any of that information at this time. And I believe Mayor Gary indicated we have just a few more minutes for questions. Any final questions? Yes, ma'am. Yes.
Do you plan to do an audit of the current volunteers and employees that you have?
I can't hear the questions as usual.
They have to reapply every year. And so, but we will be looking at everyone just to, this is a very important, these are our most precious assets in our community, are our children. So we want to make sure that we're doing everything we can to keep them safe.
No, Tracy.
As Prosecutor Eisinger stated, this is an ongoing investigation.
Oh, wow.
And you can all expect
That's
further
crazy.
press releases as more details are found. So I do thank everybody for participating this morning, and we will conclude this press conference at this time. Thank you.
Let me see here. So after the manhunt, I wonder if I should do the press conference or the... I do have a clip in my stream here, actually. Let me play that. So I have a clip at the moment that they apprehended him on the highway. And thank goodness there was a couple of young girls in the car right behind all of this happening, and they managed to record it. And it's pretty viral right now, but it's edited on all the news stations. So I took a clip from Ikadmel and edited that because it's the raw footage. So there's going to be swearing and everything, which we don't mind here, but it is what it is. It's what happened. So I'll play the clip of the rescue. I'm still going to go over the whole timeline because you won't believe all the accusations this guy had, and still he was in school system working with children for years. Allegations for years. Let me get that comment off of there so you can see the clip I'm going to play.
They have their fucking guns out! This is not safe at fucking all. Oh my god, I'm scared. I'm literally scared.
You better take videos the whole time.
I don't want to take pictures the whole time.
Holy shit!
My heart is racing. I'm fucking scared.
Oh my god.
Oh my god.
The semi guy's getting out. Glad we're not 10 French for any reason. There's the baby. Oh, there's the baby.
Oh, they have the baby.
Like we have.
Oh.
That's gonna make me cry.
They have him.
God. I can't believe he was going
Oh. And they just.
So the guy, the ex-cop, died from a self-inflicted gunshot wound, and thank God the baby was alive. But this guy is a piece of shit, a coward.
I gotta find that. So let's see. Look at her later. I will, Tracy. I'll check into that. So I guess when the cops approached him, he did fire some shots back, and then, ended his life. He's a coward. And once again, his 1-year-old baby is in the car. Hopefully, I know the baby's young and will forget things, but I hope he was rear facing for obvious reasons. But I'm sure it still scared the crap out of him hearing a gunshot in the car and all the police shooting and everything. Thank goodness he's safe. I really hope there's some family that's going to take him in. I heard them talking about looking at agencies and, CPS to take him in. So I do hope he can be with family. So here's the updated press afterwards, after this happened right here, the clip I just showed you.
Kennedy with the Oregon State Police. That's spelled KYLEKENNEDY. I'll be reading a bit from my notes.
Yeah, well, when I go over the timeline in a minute and all the allegations that he's had, he started working with children and having issues with allegations since 2018. And yet, there he was, substituting volunteer wrestling coach to the girl he got pregnant when she was 15. Because she had the baby when she was 16, and she was 17 at the time he took her life, and the baby was 1. He met her, actually, let's see, 2018-19, when he started working. That's when he was her volunteer wrestling coach, and she was 11 when they met, and was the coach for her at age 13. and her name was Angelica Santos, the girlfriend, live-in girlfriend, and his ex-wife, Amber Rodriguez, who he shot at the school. She was a paraprofessional with a 9-year-old son. They divorced in 2020. Yeah, he should have been in jail. He actually had court. He had a trial set April 22nd. He skipped out of court. So instead of going to court, he did all this instead. And both women had already went to the court and filed, protective orders against him. And as you can see, the paper really does nothing. It just keeps the trail. So both of them tried. Once again, failed.
It's only a few hours old, so I'll be limited in what details I have available to me and what I can share at this time. At the end, I'll have an opportunity just for a couple of questions. We'll see if we can answer those. But I want to start this evening by sending...
He was actually going to, just to clarify, sorry about that. The trial he was supposed to attend was for statutory rape on a 16-year-old, which would have been his girlfriend, Angelica Santos, her friend, and I'll get into that.
Our heartfelt support the community in West Richland, Washington, who's experienced a senseless tragedy in the last 24 hours. My prayer is that their community will continue to come together to provide support and strength during this grievous time. The difficulty they're experiencing is unimaginable and has a significant impact on the folks up north. The conclusion of this search has been the culmination of hours of hard work and dedication of law enforcement partners, both in Oregon, Washington, as well as federal contributors. Since the start, our goal has been simple, and that is to bring Roman Santos home safely. He's the 1-year-old infant who was
should have never been in that school.
And we've done that. Roman is safe in the care of Oregon officials. He is doing well and being cared for. We're very, very thankful for that outcome.
I bet you there's going to be lawsuits against the school. I bet you it's already starting.
In regards to the circumstances surrounding this, last evening, the Oregon State Police issued an Amber Alert around 11:35 p.m. We received that request around 10:30 from the Washington State Patrol, and then we worked to confirm that information and get it out as quickly as possible. That took about an hour, and that information, that Amber Alert, went out to every Oregonian and all of our law enforcement partners in Oregon. The Amber Alert was issued in response to the murder of 2 women in West Richland, Washington, and the kidnapping of 1-year-old Roman Santos. The suspect in these murders and kidnapping is a man identified as Elias Huizer.
I didn't even pick up on that before. Roman Santos. The girlfriend's name, Angelica Santos. So the baby didn't even have his name.
He was reportedly driving a 2009 Toyota Corolla with Washington plates, and as of the early morning hours had been believed to have entered into Oregon. Throughout the greater part of the day, law enforcement partners in the metro area, including the Oregon State Police, federal partners, and many Oregon municipalities have been working together in an effort to locate him. Approximately 2:40 today, an Oregon State trooper was parked along Interstate 5, checking for the vehicle to come southbound. And near milepost 221, so that's just south of Highway 34, encountered the suspect vehicle, pulled out behind it with another trooper, initiated a traffic stop, and the vehicle fled. Those 2 troopers initiated and engaged in a pursuit with a suspect vehicle at high speed southbound on the interstate. Near milepost 209, which is near the Diamond Hill Road exit, there was a minor collision, and the suspect vehicle lost control.
He hit an oil gas, what do you call those rigs? Gas truck? You're not going to win against that.
There's an exchange of gunfire at this location before the suspect vehicle fled again, southbound on the interstate. At that time, no known injuries resulted in the exchange of gunfire. Near milepost 197, just south of Coburg, a suspect crashed into a stopped commercial motor vehicle. That commercial motor vehicle stopped for another crash southbound of it on the freeway. And so traffic had clogged up there. The suspect vehicle crashed, spun into the median where it became immobile.
Gotta mute out for a plane again.
Contacted the suspect vehicle. The suspect died of a self-inflicted gunshot wound. The infant was located uninjured and removed from the vehicle. Involved in the exchange of gunfire was Superintendent Casey Cotting and Sergeant Orly Johnson of the Oregon State Police. At this time, the Lane County Sheriff's Office has been asked to take lead on the
Tracy, that's a good question. I wonder if maybe they did. That's probably going to be investigated.
death investigation, and the Lane County Sheriff's Office is taking lead on the officer-involved shooting. I want to say that we're very proud of the efforts of the trooper involved in this pursuit today. Their dedication and courage is a hallmark of the character of an Oregon State trooper, and their efforts today are paramount or were paramount in bringing Roman home safely. I also want to thank all the partners who were involved in this, starting in Washington. I'm going to list all these off for you. There's a significant amount of collaboration that went into this, starting with Kennewick PD.
Amazing. Absolutely amazing. Lori Murray, Rick King, Michael Sterling still with me. Rick, I'll begin with you. What he just described. Exchange of gunfire, and then the car takes off again. And thank goodness there was some traffic up ahead because he crashes and then takes his own life.
Yeah. So, I mean, when you talk about...
He orphaned his own child. Stupid idiot. Ugh, makes me so mad. Now, did anyone in here, I know some people came in late, is there anyone that wants to see the short clip of the rescue that missed it? It's kind of loud too. I hadn't realized till I put it on. I could play the clip of the rescue. It's like, I think it's under a minute if anyone wants to see that again before I read this timeline. That's absolute insanity. I guess I should have probably read it first, but I have hella tabs here. It's kind of hard to keep up here. So just let me know if y'all seen it. I'll give it a second. I think there's going to be a lot of investigations, probably a lot of lawsuits. Who knows how many kids at school witnessed this too. They're going to be traumatized. So much trauma here. So I could move on to the timeline, I guess. Julius Huzar joined the Yakima Police Department in June 2013. Yeah, I hope the 9-year-old also, has family. The accusations, it seems like they began in 2018, 2019, but I'll just go through this whole timeline. If anyone wants me to play that rescue again, just let me know and I'll hopefully see it. Okay, let's see. And actually, I might have to stop because of the damn plane. I think it's coming again. Okay, so the Richland School District shared a timeline of Elias' involvement with the district. According to his application to the Richland School District, he attended Yakima Valley Community College from 2004 to 2006, then transferred to Dickinson State University, North Dakota. In 2008, the Dickinson Press reported that Elias, a nationally ranked wrestler who attended Dickinson State University in North Dakota, faced 2 arrests during his senior year. Again, that was 2008. Elias was accused of threatening people with a knife during a campus altercation in September. However, the charges were dismissed in November. Subsequently, Elias, his brother, Ricardo Huzar, and his friend Steven Sanchez were arrested and charged with criminal trespass related to burglary. While charges against Elias were dropped, he was barred from competing for the remainder of the wrestling season. He graduated in 2009 with a bachelor's degree in exercise science. After return to Yakima Valley, he became a police officer and volunteered as a wrestling coach. He joined the Yakima Police Department in June 2013. And I'll just stop right there because there's already something wrong with that. He had charges filed against him, and he was barred from competing in the wrestling season. Yet he went on to become a volunteer wrestling coach for children. Make that make sense. Elias Huzar engaged in inappropriate relationships with minors while working at Washington Hills Middle School. Elias completed the basic academy on November 13, 2014, and formally became an officer in December. After 3.5 years, the YPD assigned Elias to serve as a school resource officer at Washington Hills Middle School. School resource officers are responsible for patrolling schools to ensure the safety of the students, staff, and visitors and to deter criminal activity, as stated on the Yakima Police Department website. Oh, I just skipped something. It was widely known at the school that there were suspicions regarding Elias and a 13-year-old student. Notably, the teenager was residing in Yakima at the time and was open about the situation on social media, according to the Tri-City Herald. Murray, who assumed the role of police chief in Yakima April 2019 after relocating from Colorado, was promptly informed of the allegations against Elias. He stated that 2 crime investigators from the Office of the Washington Attorney General were brought in to examine the claims. In a recent phone interview from March 15th, Murray mentioned that the investigators found no evidence to support the allegations. According to him, a family member of the 13-year-old stated that she couldn't be believed and that she made things up. So right there, that bothered me a lot. Her own family said she couldn't be believed and that she made things up. So her death right there could have been prevented had they kept an eye on her and believed her. So when you're talking to your kids about, predators in school, you're supposed to trust in the school resource officer, the guidance counselors. These are all the people. So it's like pretty sad these days that you have to give them talks about anybody can be a predator. It's almost like it's like that. It's sad. And that, you want them to come to you and tell you stuff. So you got to really take them seriously. This, I think right here could have been prevented for at least one of them. If they had believed her. That's pretty fucked up. Excuse my language. The investigators were unable to uncover any physical evidence, such as text messages or emails exchanged between Elias and the student. On September 20th, 2019, Elias filed an anti-harassment protective order against the minor student approximately a year after becoming the school resource officer at her school. So he filed an anti-harassment protection order against her. That's a good cover-up. Murray contacted Elias at his residence, and his wife became aware of the situation. The student had confided in her peers at school about the apparent sexual encounters, and other students had reported this to the principal. She had even sent social media messages regarding Elias, but later claimed that her account had been hacked. Subsequently, she was expelled from school. She was expelled from school, guys. Following the conclusion of the administrative case, Elias expressed a desire to remain at Washington Hills Middle School, but Chief Murray transferred him to another middle school within the district in the autumn of 2019. By December of that year, records from the Benton County Superior Court indicate that Elias' marriage had come to an end. So, from what I gather, he was divorced in 2020 from my, research. Elias was employed at Richland High School as a substitute. Records show that Elias was investigated multiple times in Yakima, including an investigation by the Washington State Attorney General's office for the allegations at the middle school. On March 29, 2021, Elias and his ex-wife, Rodriguez, had a confrontation outside RSD Elementary School. The West Richland Police Department was contacted by school officials. The Yakima Police Department was notified and they investigated the incident. None of the investigations resulted in charges, but Elias resigned. Separation forms filed by Chief Murray on February 14, 2022, with the Washington State Criminal Justice Training Center, declared Elias not eligible to be rehired by the Yakima Police Department. I'm going to have to mute out for 1 second because there's an Amazon. My dog's going to bark. It's going to drive away in 1 second, so I got to take a pause here. My bad. And of course, for the first time ever, he didn't bark. That's odd. All right, let's see where I was. Can you believe this so far? All right. I think I was right here. Okay. Records show Elias had already been hired by the Richland District on February 8th, 2022. I might go over something again. Just bear with me. Elias began working as the official building substitute at Jefferson Elementary on March 7th, 2022. Now we're in an elementary school. In October 2023, he was also permitted to be a volunteer wrestling coach at Richland High School. And from my quick investigations, I guess he met his girlfriend when she was 11 there. It doesn't mean they started, having relations, but I later found out that around the age of 13, that's when the allegations started. Elias Huzar was slapped with rape charges for allegedly assaulting a 16-year-old girl. On February 3rd, 2024, Elias was arrested on charges of raping 2 minors. At the time of his arrest, he lived with a 17-year-old girl in West Richland. Oh, hey, L. Kennedy. I'm just going by some crazy news, you know. Let's see. She was the same girl against whom he had filed an anti-harassment protection order while she was a 13-year-old middle school student at Washington Hills, Yakima, where he had been employed as a school resource officer. Once again, I am mind blown. Elias apparently impregnated her when she was 15 years old, and they had been living together since the birth of her child. Reports state that on February 3rd, his girlfriend invited a friend over, and Elias supplied them with alcohol. The 16-year-old went to sleep in the guest bedroom and was soon joined by Elias' girlfriend. She woke up to find Elias sexually assaulting the unconscious 16-year-old girl. Ugh. After an argument, the girls managed to take the baby and flee the house in his car. When the teenagers found Elias was following them, they called the police and went to a local gas station and waited for the authorities to arrive. When police arrived at Elias' residence, he refused to cooperate. The SWAT team brought in, and it took 2 hours to apprehend him. Following that arrest, Elias was slapped with several charges, including second-degree rape and furnishing alcohol to minors. He was charged separately with third-degree rape for his relationship with his 17-year-old girlfriend. His bail was set at $200,000, but was soon bonded out of jail. He was asked not to contact the teens and to avoid drinking alcohol. So if they just didn't give him any bond, this would have all been prevented, and they'd all still have life, and all of this tragedy would have been prevented. And the friend did not get killed, but he did kill the girlfriend and the wife, and those are them both in the picture. So the young one on the right, the 17-year-old, that's the young girl that he originally met at 11, and they started having relations, from what I can find, at 13. And she's the one that was her family, when she told her friends and peers, and then the peers went to the principal to report it. When they did an investigation, her family told investigators, "Oh, she just makes things up. That's how she is." So had she been taken seriously, I believe her death could have been prevented had her family been proactive in this. But instead, they ignored her and called her a liar. Can you believe all this? All these dates that I just gave you, and all these places he worked around children, and all these investigations, and still the next person would hire him, and again, and again, and again. So I'm convinced that there's going to be a lot of lawsuits here. That's my thoughts on it. This is absolute insanity. Elias Huzar's ex-wife, Amber Marie Rodriguez, filed for a civil protection order after his arrest. Following Elias' arrest on rape charges, his ex-wife, Rodriguez, expressed fear for her safety and that 2 of their sons, aged 6 and 9, per court documents. Rodriguez filed for a civil protection order, which was granted on February 22nd. She also sought a change in custody for their boys, citing ongoing harassment from Elias since their 2020 divorce and expressing concerns about his mental and emotional stability. She mentioned Elias' ownership of firearms, some of which were seized from his residence after his arrest. Rodriguez described him as mentally unstable, reporting that he claimed to hear voices, exhibited a short temper, and tried to control her behavior. In her statement seeking the protective order, Rodriguez mentioned Elias' diagnosis of PTSD, major depressive disorder, insomnia, alcohol use disorder, and unspecified personality disorder. Yet, look at all the places he was hired around children, once again. Not one job, but several. Elias pled not guilty in court on February 15th. His trial was set for April 22nd, which was a few days ago, and he did not go. Instead, he committed this horrific crime. I guess that was it for that one. Is that not insane? All that, and he kept being rehired, and all these jobs. It's insane. It just doesn't make sense. And again, both of these women filed, when he bonded out, they both went to the court and filed for protective orders. And as you can see, it did nothing. Doesn't help them now. He should have never, in my opinion, been granted a bond. or at least conditions with the bond, such as the tether or anything where they could track him. And I think it could have been prevented. But I mean, so he killed the girlfriend at some point, took the baby, and then went to the school. He stalked her like prey, knew when she was getting out, shot her at a school full of children. His own son, 9-year-old son, was there and witnessed his mom getting shot by dad. So now he has no mom, he has no dad. And then the baby, same with the baby. For what? For what reason? And in the end, he kills himself because he's a coward. All could have been prevented. I don't think there's much more on that. Let me just check. I mean, I read pretty much that summed up the timeline. Most of it. It didn't have everything in it, but no, that's something else, I think. Let me see. Oh, that is... Nope. Child predator, dirty ex-cop, and murderer. That's about it on him. I mean, what more could you say? For anyone that missed it, I will play the clip. It's kind of loud, so watch your earbuds like I did a minute ago. Of the rescue on the highway when they finally caught him on the run with the 1-year-old baby. Thankfully, they got the baby. The baby wasn't harmed. Could only hope again that there's some family that can take the baby in. And like I said, I know the 1-year-old's going to forget everything, but I still hope the car seat was rear facing so the baby didn't witness that, because who knows how that's going to affect him. And being in a car with somebody shooting one of your baby, that's got to be scary too.
They have their fucking guns out! This is not safe at fucking all. Oh my god, I'm scared. I'm literally scared.
You better take videos the whole time.
I don't want to take pictures the whole time.
Holy shit!
My heart is racing. I'm fucking scared.
Oh my god.
Oh my god.
The semi guy's getting out. Glad we're not 10 French for there's the baby. Oh, there's the baby.
Oh, they have the
baby.
Like we have. Oh, that's gonna make me cry.
They have him.
Sad. I can't believe he was going.
Oh. And they just.
That's about it on that. Pretty crazy stuff, huh? Can't believe it. And his ex-wife was scared. They tried. They knew. I think they knew what he was capable of. The paper is really just a paper. I mean, it can be a trail if you had... I mean, it's good to get the paper anyway. Say they came to your house and you could protect yourself and something happened, then you could at least show that you went to the courts and already pled with them for your safety. It would help in that case if you came into a situation where you had to defend yourself and that person didn't make it, then you can show proof of that at least. But other than that, if a psycho is going to come do it, the sad thing is they're going to do it. He clearly was something wrong with him, and I just can't believe again that all those allegations for years. This goes back since, let's see, joined the police in 2013, I think it said, but since 2018, he's been getting allegations and hopping from job to job around our children. And I saw one press conference yesterday where somebody from the school said, well, on the application, he checked no when we asked on the questionnaire if he had ever had any charges against him. And they kept saying that all this stuff came back clear when they ran background checks. It just doesn't add up. Something's not right. And she even made the comment, which is not going to help them in a positive way. We were short-staffed on police officers. Oh, okay, so you just hire a psycho because you need more police officers? And yeah, I wish I could find that clip. That was one of the press conferences where the school was talking. They were talking about the therapy dogs and stuff. I don't think it's... Let me see if it's this one. I'm going to scan through it. I don't think it is. I should have saved that. I expect a lot of backlash and lawsuits, in my opinion anyway. That's just what I think. Just shouldn't have got to this level. And that girl tried to tell her parents years ago. What about the fact that her peers went to the principal when she was very young, when she was 13, and nobody believed her at school? And yet he went on to work at more schools. It just doesn't make sense. Over and over and over again. No, I think there'll be lawsuits. Man. That's why I had to give a little back history on that, just so you I know it was a little bit long and probably bored some people, but I think it's important to hear all of that, to know what could have been prevented, because it's beyond disturbing. Both of the cases are, actually. If anyone wants to chat on it or give an opinion or anything, you're welcome to before I close. My dog has an opinion. 1 second. Sorry. Yeah, I'm just about finishing up unless anyone wanted to comment. There were couple pretty crazy cases, but I gotta mute till this person walks by. Duncan's extra mad, sorry. All right. Are you done now, Duncan? Can I go on? Will you let me go on now? Yeah, I meant peachy. I meant the reading part was a little long, but it's important. That timeline was very important because it's just beyond disturbing. So again, yeah, if anyone wants to chat real quick before I close it, because I got to keep some things separate because I'm all over the place with what I'm doing here. Like I said, I'm just winging it, and if I find something I want to share or educational, I think there's education in both of these. I'm just gonna play what I want to play, I guess. I'm just mixing it up, mixing things up a bit. I might do some more of this occasionally, like current stuff, what's going on in the real world. Because there's lessons in both. The drunk driver, like, take a friggin' Uber, walk home, make your plans before, and that whole thing could have been prevented. Now, like, hundreds of people are affected by that car crash because that lady chose to drink and get behind a wheel. And Duncan's not finished. 1 second. Oh, good. She's going live. Yeah. I mean, I don't have much to say unless anyone wants to come up and chat for a minute about it. I'll do it again one more time. Only one want to chat about it so far is Duncan. He's got a lot to say. So it's okay, Lily. If you want to check it out later for something to listen to, I was doing Elias Huzar, the psycho predator cop that just murdered his young girlfriend and wife for no reason in front of his 9-year-old child, 1-year-old child. Now they're both orphaned. For what? And then, so the lesson in that one, I couldn't believe that, again, when you talk to your kids, if they say something like that, this could have been prevented for her at least. So that's where the lesson was in that. At least one of the lessons that I wanted to, present to listen to your kids when they tell you they might be fooling around with even if it's a school resource officer, because you never know. There's people in power that wear a badge, that are doctors, that are perverts too. So just because they are that's why I gave you all those examples and read that timeline. Because there's predators everywhere in any position. And that's just a reminder there. So listen to your kids. Know what I'm saying? What are y'all talking about? Let's see. Food. Mac and cheese. I have kale soup from yesterday. I don't know if I'm going to make anything. Probably also make a pizza, though. I already got my dough rising. Did that earlier. see if I missed anything else here. Closing up in a second. I don't even remember. Oh, I've been on here a bit. I didn't even think I'd be on here that long. I thought I could do this in about an hour. That's crazy right there. I guess I had a lot of pressers though to go through. Yeah, that and take an Uber and don't kill a bunch of people and ruin hundreds of people's lives. That lady had no excuse to. She was 3 doors down. That's the thing I can't believe about it. Like I said, allegedly her husband moved closer, so she'd be closer to the booze. Well, did that work out for you, husband? Because now all those people are affected. Your wife's a murderer, basically, and you have no wife now. I guess you just probably didn't have proper guidance at home is what I'm thinking, Leslie. And she was a young child where, your parents are supposed to be teaching you, I imagine, and didn't sound like they were listening to her. I wonder if they're alive, if they'll come out of the woodwork, if they'll do any talking on this after interviews, anything like that. That would be interesting because then if they do interviews, I'd like somebody to ask her that question why they didn't listen to her when she was a young 13-year-old child. Hello, Jackie Blue. So I've been on for a couple hours, going over a couple current events that are pretty bizarre, crazy, impacted a lot of people. I'm just about finishing up. I did drop a link if anyone wanted to chat about it, but it seems like we might be just about done. I feel bad for the people that just came in. I guess you got a replay for later if you have nothing on, I'm going to make me some coffee, maybe throw a pizza, catch up on my laundry. Is there anything else going on in the YouTubes? Let me see. I think Peachy said Katie's going on live at 5 o'clock. We could put the channel if you want, Peachy. I don't know what channel she's on. I know she mixes it up a lot. You can drop that link if you want. Really, anyone can share any before I close up if you'd like. Share any links if you like for a moment. Oh, sure. Yeah, you have a good day. I'm sorry y'all missed it. Hey, Fluffy. I went over a couple really crazy cases. You'd probably like it. I'm sorry if you missed it. Actually, were you here earlier, actually? I can't remember now. I don't think I've seen you, Fluffy. Or if I did, maybe it was for a second. Now I can't remember. So, yeah, real world stuff, terrible things, lessons in it all. It's a good thing to check out, I think. And, I think there's lessons in it. And like I said, I'll probably do once in a while, like I want to do what I want to do. I know it's pretty random here, but sometimes I will do current events if I feel touched to do so. Katie's title has me invested. Ooh, you got me curious. Oh, you were here doing laundry. That's what I got to do. Stupid laundry. That is stupid. You know what the worst is? I hate the whites the most. I loathe doing whites, and that's what's in my dryer. Because I got to do all those fold all those washcloths, the socks. I detest it. That's the load I hate the most. And that's what I'm waiting on. Kim Kardashian is crying. I don't know anything about that. Actually don't know much about her. Okay, nice. The link is posted. I won't be able to see the link. Can you tell me what channel it's on? I think it takes a little bit to load. I can't see it on this end unless I go on the YouTube side because I'm on the StreamYard side and it doesn't show. Actually, let me see. Maybe I can see it. Oh, there it is again. Let me see. No, it doesn't stay on that. I can't tell. Oh, okay. I'm definitely going to check that out now. You never know with her. I don't know much about them, Lulu, to tell you the truth. Except they're in the news a lot for some reason. I don't get it. I have no idea why they're all famous. I think one of them's famous for her butt. It might be insured. I'm not sure. Or maybe that was J-Lo. Or maybe it's both of them. Can you imagine having buttocks that you insure? I can't. The amount I've seen is enough. Now I want to see your thumbnail. I'm going to have to look before I close it. Oh, just give me a minute. Yeah, I match everything. That's why I hate it. That's why I don't like doing it, because I got to match all the socks up. Each person has their own socks. I got to figure out which whites are which, whose socks are whose. I do that. Yes, it's annoying. Is it on the Blame Katie channel? Let me see. Tracy. Let me see. I don't think it's this one. Oh. Ooh, that one went right in my ear. Girl overfilled the washer. That's never good. It'd be moving across the room. Okay. Oh, I see. I see now what you mean. I had no idea. I guess you've been causing trouble, Katie. My OCD. Yeah. I mean, yeah, and I got to separate all the washcloths because there's cleaning washcloths you got to fold and separate. There's bathing washcloths. Some are for the dishes, and I can tell which ones are which. And yes, they're all white, and I do separate them. Maybe I have laundry OCD. I don't know. Folds the socks. Fold the socks in the bin, or you get laundry again. All right, I guess I'll play my music, and y'all can chat a minute. Gotta get going. Oh, well, thanks for coming, Halloween baby. Really, all of you. Whoever's here, whoever's listening. I know it's not heavily populated because it's not drama, but like I said, I plan on mixing it up. We need new material sometimes, you know? And be reminded about real world shit. It's frightening out there. Oh, I need to play this just for fun, even though there's no reason.
I can talk better.
Oh, I better not. I don't want to mix it in this stream. My bad. There's so many buttons I want to push right now, but instead I'll just play the music and I'll see you all around. Have a good day. Thank you for coming.
There's a monster under my bed and at my window there's a dragon. I accepted the challenge, it turned me into a savage. I broke a promise to myself again. I don't know why I am so vulnerable. They try to help but I won't let them in. I guess rock bottom's where I'm comfortable. Both my feet planted when most people would have panicked. I embraced the storm, I found beauty in what was damaged. I'm not afraid of the boogeyman.
Donna, if my husband folds the towels, I will take them out and refold them. I don't like how he folds them. I refold those.
There's a creature in my closet. I can hear him rumbling around. The demon screaming in the distance creates such a humbling sound. The monster that's outside my window, he's like family to me now. The things that people are afraid of never let me down.
Not to say this no, but I'm hated so. My religious freaks say I'm the biggest beast and that I made it grow. When I spray this flow, I created mo. Creatures are like when I heat up the mic, I'm a breed of the night, but I'm tainted though. By the darkness I'm blinded, I sparked it and shined it. They find it, cause mine is woe. For that they label me a demon seed. Wanna disable Nina, see them bleed. Hinder me fatally and see them grieve, no. You would not believe the creature inside me. If you deceive, Khalifa's alive. We disagree when people defy me. I'm trying to take his, whatever the fuckery toward them. You don't wanna wake this. You forsake his, what is sacred, then it's over. No matter what your faith is, I'm a creature.
There's a creature in my closet. I can hear him rumbling around. The demon screaming in the distance creates such a humbling sound. The monster that's outside my window, he's like family to me now. The things that people are afraid of never let me down. pain. Yeah, I'm down in the double dose of liquor's always to blame. If I could keep myself sober, I keep my hands to myself. I take a shot and it's over, that's how I end up in hell. I hope I don't pass it down to my offspring. They get everything from their daddy, feel like I'm addicted to all things. There's no reason to change, gone too far now. And I'm stuck in my ways, back at the bar now.
I'm wearing my orange necklace right now. My favorite.
So when I'm thirsty and perking and purposely searching for something that's hurting me, so I just can't back up and go. I just back out of it slow. That's how it go. I got to back out the hole. What next? Like I don't know. Okay. I think he be laughing at me, hands be grabbing at me. Feel like God let it happen to me. That be blasting me.
Make photographer, all those babies.
I think I better let it go. Either that or I gotta let it know. And I can't do that.
There's a creature in my closet. I can hear him rumbling around. The demon screaming in the distance creates such a humbling sound. The monster that's outside my window, he's like family to me now. The things that people are afraid of never let me down.
Okay, this is the time where I usually press all my sound bites, and I can't because I don't want to mix it with the serious stuff. So y'all have a nice day. I'm trying very hard not to push the buttons that I want to push, so I have to rage quit. Goodbye.